In this video, I'm going to take you along with me on a 23.5 mile long run in Nashville, Tennessee, as a slow runner training for my first marathon. This run didn't go as planned at all. If you enjoyed this video, consider subscribing and liking the video and all those YouTube things. And with that, sit back and enjoy today's vlog. This morning, I have a long run. It's 23 point something miles. It's like 23 and a little bit of change, and there's no pace. I'm really nervous considering last week's run. I failed. I was supposed to run like 20 miles, but I only did 15. All that I can think of right now is I failed my last run, so I'm a little nervous to run this run because it's longer. It's for longer. And my goal is just to complete it. My goal is to complete the 23 miles today. And I know that I can. I've done it before. That's one of the reasons why I'm doing this training program before my marathon. And I'll explain a little bit more on that later. But if I'm being completely honest, I am nervous about today's run. This is a little trick that I wish I would have known earlier. But I'm getting ready for my run, and I used to have really bad like nipple chafing issues. And if you've ever had those issues, then you know how annoying and how awful it is. And I tried like all different types of like anti-chafe stuff. I tried Vaseline, and none of it worked. I even tried different shirts, and it still did not work. The only thing that worked was this Band-Aid like skin tape stuff you can pick up from like Walgreens, and it works great. It stays on no matter the length of the run, and yeah, it's cheap too. If you're interested, I'll try to find a link. I don't know if there's going to be a link, but if I found a link, it'll be down there. Today's run is, like I said, it's 23 miles. There's no pace, so the plan is I'm gonna start really slow and then slowly ease into it if I feel like it. There will be walking. I just don't know when there's gonna be walking, but there will be walking. Yeah. Last night I had pizza for dinner. For long runs, for some reason, deep dish pizza it always does it for me. And then this morning I had some peanut butter and honey like tortillas. Those two combinations, I think I'll be good to avoid like a crash with like gels and stuff every 4 miles. One thing I have learned with doing this kind of stuff is nutrition is something you really need to pay attention to. And I feel like it's something you don't really pay attention to until it bites you in the butt. All that being said, I'm properly nourished, so this should be a pretty good run. I'm also trying to figure out when my turnaround point is. It's 23 miles, meaning that it should be like 11 minutes or 11 miles and something, but I'm not really sure. I believe that running is 100% a mental game. It does require physical endurance and strength in your legs and strength just all around. But I feel like all of that pales in comparison to how much is actually a mental game. And I didn't really understand that, and I don't think you really understand that until you start running longer distances. Running like 10Ks and stuff like that, there is some mental toughness that needs to be there to continue doing like a distance like that, or like a 5K or something like that. But there's something when you cross the half marathon into the marathon and then even further than that, it's just most of it is literally just mental toughness and the resilience to keep going. And that's one of the reasons I really love running, because it's really taught and helped work that muscle, because it's basically you're doing things that are very uncomfortable and you don't want to do them. but you're doing them because you know you need to and you've set a goal. And I think there's a lot of value in that. And for me, some days I can't wait to get out there. I can't wait to go run for long distances because of the mental clarity and just the ability to just really enjoy the fact of being outside and being able to move my body and all that stuff. But there are times like today, for whatever reason, some days are just harder mentally than others.
I'm passing by a spot where I actually talked about the same subject, but the subject was really trying to enjoy the runs and not get so caught up on the numbers, the pace, all that stuff, even mileage. And for me, it's still a struggle. I think it gets easier as you do it more, but it's still a struggle. I'm trying to embrace the slowness and be happy that I'm going slow. I am, in fact, walking up these stairs, not because, I guess it's because I want to, but also 26 miles. I'm picking and choosing my battles and what I want to run up and use energy for and not. And that, this early in the run, not really. One nice thing about it being cold and windy and early is there's nobody out here, meaning I have this whole bridge to myself. I don't think I've ever actually experienced this. It's kind of cool. I am gonna need to put my sunglasses on because my eyes are starting to water from the wind and my lips are getting a little numb from the cold, but other than that, I'm feeling good so far. I'm about 2 miles in right now.
There are some things that they're not glamorous, that nobody talks about for running, and that's going to be chafing and bathroom breaks. Currently I'm in the bathroom for both of those.
Just about 4 miles in, I must have had my first gel. I didn't show it, but back there I had to apply some anti-chafe cream, which I've never had to do it this early in the run, so it's a little concerning, but I'm sure to be fine. 19 left-ish.
I feel like when you're marathon training, or just you make mistakes and you do learn. Like there's a constant learning curve. One thing, a mistake that I won't be making again. I can't even talk. Is not packing extra gloves when it's 32 and it's windy like this. I thought these gloves were going to be warm enough, and my hands are freezing. And on top of that, I decided to grab. I passed my last water station for a while, so I decided to fill a couple of my water bottles up, and it was windy. Water got all over the place. Now my hands are wet and cold. Always bring extra gloves and thicker gloves. I have gloves at home that would work perfectly, but I'm 6 miles in now.
Those of you that don't live in Nashville, or if you do and you don't know about this is actually a closed airstrip that people do pictures, people run, walk. It's literally 2 old runways that they just it's on this next to the greenway, and people just use it for exercise. I'm in the woods now. I will say one thing I do like about this running route that I do is a large portion, or a good portion of it, is actually in the woods. So on windy days like today, or on days that it's super hot, you have shade, and also the trees help break up some of the wind, because honestly the wind chill is it got pretty nasty on that airfield, if I'm being completely honest, but now totally fine. halfway there. Now I turn around and do the whole thing over. This second half is this is where all of like the mental shit, all the mental stuff starts to come into play, because like right now, like my body's tired, I'm cold, I've been out here for a while. Just when I get home, and it's kind of like you can see the finish line kind of, but you also have like 11 more miles to go. And that's where I really try to focus on enjoying running, and I try to remind myself of why I enjoy running, and like I try to just like fixate on that instead of like the task that I have to do. Like right now, the next 10 miles, I have for me and me alone, no phone calls, no work, nothing. It's just me and my thoughts outside, which is why I like running anyway. All that being said, I'm needing to remind myself of that right now, because yeah. I'm 14.14 miles in, and right now I'm really getting into my head. So on the running app that I use, there's like estimated like times that I should finish things, even if there's not a pace like today's. And I just realized that I'm going to be on the slower end of that pace, or slower than that slow pace is supposed to be. And it's a stupid thing, and I recognize that, but I am mentally, like right now, kind of fighting that, because my biggest fear in February is not finishing, which is not going to be the case. It's a 6.5 hour like time limit for the course, and I should be able to set, I'm like right, like if I go slow, it'll be 5 hours, but I am, yeah, anyway, feeling good, just, I'm 16 miles in, and I'm feeling good. I had a low point, or the low point kind of ended at the airstrip back there. Now that I'm getting off the airstrip, I'm feeling great. One thing for me is keeping like momentum and feeling like I'm like making progress or like going somewhere. And when you have something like an airstrip or a long piece of flat land, it's just really hard to keep that motivation, because it feels like you're not going anywhere, but you've gone like half a mile, or whatever. But all that being said, I'm feeling good now. I just rolled over to 16 miles and I'm feeling strong. I love running, man. It's nothing like it. Oh. 23.5 miles done.
Okay, so I wanted to do a quick little like just overview or summary of the run that I just completed. So the length of the run was 23.52 miles. It was technically 23.5, but I did a little bit extra. My average heart rate was 139 BPM, and my average pace was 12:42. Not super fast. Again, my app told me that I should shoot for 4 hours and like 40-ish minutes, and I finished it in 4 hours and 58 minutes. And honestly, I'm trying not to get too into the numbers, just because like it was just a long run. There was no pace. I was just supposed to pretty much enjoy it, and I tried my best to do that. I was able to keep a pretty steady cadence, staying around like the 11 to 12 minute mark. Towards the middle, I started getting really, really slow. Mile 12 was actually when I was dealing with a couple of nutrition issues. I didn't drink enough water. So that one it was way, way slower, and it was the slowest mile out of all of them, because I walked a majority of it. And then mile 21, that honestly, I went to the bathroom and I forgot to pause my workout. So that's why that one was a little bit slower, but it was an okay run. Not my best, not my worst. Just a maintenance run for maintenance long run. I hadn't done, like I said before, I hadn't done a long run like this in a long time, and it felt good that I was able to complete it, and I'm still like able to walk around. This training program, I do have a couple, I'm going to be hitting the marathon or above distances a couple times before my actual race, which will mentally, the reason I did that is because mentally I wanted to know what that felt like, and then I wanted to be able to do it more than once. For me, whenever I train for races and stuff, I like to hit the distance that I'm going to be running a couple of times instead of just the first time I'm hitting it in that training block is for that race. That's what I'm personally going with, or the tactic I'm going with this time around. It may change in the future, but yeah. If you enjoyed the video, feel free to like and subscribe if you haven't already. If you want to see anything specific to running or anything else on this channel, like what cameras I use to shoot these runs, I'll make a video about it if I get enough comments or questions about it. And with that, I will see you guys in the next video.